We are
Say
now.
action.
Action.
3, 2, 1.
I didn't think of my picture. I don't
We
care.
have to watch what we say now. No, he doesn't get this.
Okay, so let's go through our decision-making process.
Okay.
Alright. I don't really know what.
So what are we doing?
We're supposed to talk about
We are
brainstorm.
recording and just.
Just
Okay.
doing the exact same thing we did yesterday,
This is
On
spot.
brainstorming, which was part of what we talked about yesterday.
which was part of our, that's why,
Quantity over quality.
that's why I went with ours, with brainstorm.
That's a great idea. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
So do we want to do another PowerPoint? Because I think that went over well.
Yeah, they like the PowerPoint.
So,
I think she's pulling
I think we were the only group that prepared for it. So all of them were very
And,
which was funny because we changed it all. Like,
I know. Oh, this is really quick.
is it just like bullet points again?
Here's like the ground rules for brainstorming.
Oh, those would be good to have.
So every contribution is worthwhile.
Okay.
Spend judgment. And modify the process before it starts or after it ends. Not while it's underway.
it's not gonna work for me.
Okay. So, let me do the PowerPoint again.
Because what was the feedback they gave yesterday? What about our
We need
PowerPoint?
a handout.
We need a handout?
Yeah.
There's something about our PowerPoint, they would have liked it if we would have tied more into the PowerPoint or went over it more in depth or something. So there's something with the PowerPoint that they want to improve, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah. What was it, chapter 7?
7, 8, 14.
I forget, but I don't really care.
I've never listened to the critique. We'll have to edit that part out.
I guess this just talks about as a listing idea. That's where it's.
That's what we did.
So,
So the hands-out, what's gonna be about?
Brainstorming,
Okay, so.
the
we're gonna
steps,
do it?
maybe like the steps. You guys are gonna do the handout?
Yeah.
You can make the handout. He's real excited. Look at him.
I'm the same in your way.
You tell him how brainstorming works.
so the only thing in chapter 7 is like this little blurb,
Rich doesn't even.
Okay.
and then chapter 8 is all about brainstorming.
So all of them.
Facilitators, do's and don'ts, the uses. Oh yeah, look at this is why people use brainstorming.
It's definitely more focus. There's 14 in there.
I understand.
It's just like the cutout pictures.
Brain writing.
Chapter.
Yeah,
So there are multiple chapters on brainstorming.
well, it says,
Yeah, I'm
It was mentioned in, what was that, 4?
mentioned in 7.
7.
7, and then 8 is all about.
8 is the entire thing about brainstorming.
So I'd say we have, maybe we could talk about the ground rules, and then mention a couple of do's and don'ts,
And then the uses.
and then the uses. Yeah, and then for an activity,
We can have them
brainstorm.
ways to change right state.
If they, well, I guess we can like have them pick a facilitator, and like the facilitator has to do mirroring, and they have to remind people to suspend judgment, like we could teach them how to do that. That's how competitive.
We should probably incorporate the mirroring in craft since that's what we've been talking about.
Move around to hold people's attention.
It's like reflecting what they thought to make sure you understood.
Okay.
And we could, yeah, give them this. We could just pull the facilitator to the side and say, this is what you have to do.
This is like your objective throughout this activity, and then we're gonna send you to do this activity, and you gotta incorporate this. And then at the end, we're gonna be like, okay, so did you notice that your facilitator did this, blah, blah. So we have time to work on this next week too.
Yeah, and they don't start until Tuesday,
Great.
so. How long have we been in?
Oh, we still have another 35 minutes.
Well,
We've
it's
only been on tape for like 5.
Okay, so for the handout,
4.
as for everyone, what should we put on?
I like the ground
The
rules.
ground rules,
Yeah, definitely ground rules.
the do's and don'ts, and the uses. And we'll just-
We can make it
Absolutely.
double-sided or something.
Photocopy this.
Yeah, and then this is how to suspend judgment.
Do we know how long our thing's supposed to last?
probably
Probably
the
the
same
same.
time, like 20 minutes. We should probably like cut it down this time since ours went a little long.
Well, that's just because we got.
We
carried
are all-
away.
We're just awesome.
We're just.
They can't judge us because ours was the best. Like ours wasn't a
Although,
failure.
maybe not now since,
Oh my gosh. If I was group, whatever group sits behind us, I'd been mad that he gave them that comment for doing the exact same activity. The
Yeah.
laughing thing. Because Morgan in that group.
she's so
like,
wild.
I don't know why he said that to them and he was suspended.
I really don't want a lot of these. I'm really glad he's not getting this video.
Let's hope it's not. Let's hope it's
I'm
not.
just gonna cut it out.
If he does, then you're deleting it on accident.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Alright, should we start with the
Yeah.
PowerPoint then?
that's a PowerPoint.
Sure. So we're gonna do ground rules, do's and don'ts.
Or
Why
we should
would
say,
you
what
use
is
this?
brainstorming?
What is brainstorming? When would you use it? Ground rules, do's and don'ts?
Yeah, and then.
So it's like rough draft thinking. So we say rough draft thinking is just like rough draft writing. Needs encouragement, not evaluation. So this is where you're just free. to
No
go.
judgment zone.
Yeah.
For the handout, I think we can focus on the suspend judgment.
Mhm.
That's something we talk about a lot in class. We could definitely incorporate that with what we've been doing. 'Cause obviously he put us in groups that are with people that are different than us to make us realize that we're different and we need to not judge other people and crap, so we can use that. too. He
You want me
likes
to
it
make a
when you
copy of
deepen
this
the
for you guys?
conversation, don't you?
And I'll
Like
give it
that?
to, I can email it to you. Oh, you wanna take a picture? So I can just scan it and then send it to your emails too, if that's easier. Or you want a picture? Use your
Same document, so I can use it.
That's how much got done so far.
Nothing.
I have
Title
headings.
sign.
Okay, I
I
can
have
scan, I can email
titles
it to you,
and,
or
like,
print it, and then
breakdowns.
bring it
I
to you
like
Monday.
that. Save time this time.
Mhm.
You should look for an internet
Yeah.
picture of brainstorming.
Like a brain with little bubbles coming out of it.
Yeah.
Take a picture.
Constantly. Brainstorm.
Or a
I would
brain
just
with like
type,
a rain
right, like this
cloud with
ground
lightning
rules and then
over its
put
head.
the,
Brainstorming.
like
That's what I
1,
was
2, and 3,
thinking.
but don't worry. Don't worry about vicinity. Then I'll just do this for a whole page of it. And then do this for like the other half.
I thought we were handing out the suspending judgment.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to do this in
Yeah.
judgment too? Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
Perfect. Make sure it doesn't have, it's not patent pending or anything.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything.
Alright, take it, steal it.
Yes, we can use the front back. Yeah. Let's do it 2 days. And we can shorten.
You can type it smaller.
Yeah.
We don't need all the do's and don'ts, just like the big ones. So you guys make the handout.
Yep,
You got all the information you need for that?
Yeah.
not yet.
Not yet?
Send it to you.
Okay.
I think we don't have much to do, just like take it out and print it out, that's it.
Mm. Yeah.
Just simplify it, 'cause there's way too much information in there.
These are all examples.
Yeah,
so
just use the whole crap.
Finally, next week is the 5th week.
I know, thank goodness.
Isn't next week just the last
Now
week
we have
of
one more
our
week after that,
classes? And
2 weeks.
No, I don't think there is a finals week for summer.
Mm-mm.
And And we don't have, our final isn't the last day, so that
That's
last
not.
Thursday is like the priority day.
I think we could find
I'd
that.
rather just not.
Not though. Cause the oral is Tuesday, Wednesday, if he's gone off the schedule he already created, but. We need to meet with him, schedule times.
I never met with him in the first place, so I think he's kinda salty about that.
I don't think he
I don't have
expected to
time.
get through like everybody, cause he
Every
was
time I
like,
went to try to do it, it was booked, and then the other times I'm like, I'm not staying here at 1:30 in the afternoon, and I've been up for 16 hours, like, I'm not doing it just to speak with you about, not, I'll
no,
talk to you when it's necessary.
it really was useless, like,
It's not
was
necessary.
wasted.
Did you guys have a meeting with him in
Yep.
the beginning? Yeah, he's
it was
salty.
just awkward. He showed me a video of his kid, like.
No, he didn't.
Yeah. It was awkward. I was like, oh, that's great. Like,
How old is
his
his kid?
kid's like school play. I'm like,
Oh,
that's
what's
I
great.
don't know why, like, why would he show you that?
Because he was like trying to send it to his mother-in-law or something. And he's like, hold on one second. I'm like,
Just
okay.
pause, I'm busy.
And he's like, here, I'll play it for you. I was like, no, it's really okay. I don't need to see it.
A boy or a girl?
He has a boy and a girl, but I think it was the boy that was in the I don't know. It was
Are
like
they
him
young
sitting in like the
kids?
back row, yeah. So like I couldn't tell which one was his kid.
Right there they are, right there.
Nor did I care which one was his Rugrat. Like, come on.
He showed me the video. Okay, yeah, thought I didn't do that then.
Yeah, it was boring. Okay. So, all right, we want to do what is brainstorming, do's and don'ts, ground rules. What other headings do we want?
Talk about suspended judgment and premature criticism.
We'll just, I think it would just introduce the suspended judgment
Mhm.
and then refer them to the handout.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna want to, while they're doing the brainstorm activity, be
Yeah.
looking at that and be like, oh, okay, I should not make fun of people as they're
Yeah.
giving comments, okay?
Just tell them everything.
In the PowerPoint, you just want ground rules and the uses and what is.
Yep.
Okay, that's easy. I can do that. And then you're gonna do the handout. So let's talk through it, because I'll work on this and have it ready for Monday and we can go
We got
over
plenty
this.
of time right now, we can just.
Well, I have to leave in like 5 minutes for my doctor's
Oh,
appointment.
yeah.
It's been 10 minutes, so you can turn it on.
That,
Has it been 10?
Do we have enough good footage that we
our
can put it up?
conversation is not
Yeah, it's been
structured. We just
13.